Alright, today we're going to be changing the oil on a 2006 Subaru Forester. I already have the wheels chucked in the back here, sort of. Handbrakes on, not too concerned. A pan under to catch the oil. I got some other blocks because I'm going to be jacking up in the soft, wet ground. So we're going to put some blocks underneath the jack so the jack just doesn't get drived into the ground by the weight of the vehicle. We'll need some wrenches, metric of course. I don't know if we'll need sockets, so we'll figure that out when we get there. Oil, a funnel, and something to put your old oil in as well. So let's get going, starting with jacking it up. Alright, so here is where we jacked up the car. There is a jack location back there. It has the bolts coming down from it. Now you probably have a plastic skid plate or whatever they call it. We tore that thing off years ago. But here's your oil pan. It's actually right in front of where you can jack. So make sure you get your jack a little bit out of the way. Like I have it here. The drain is on the driver's side here, so that makes it a little bit easier. It'll just shoot out away from where we have it jacked. So I had the car running a few minutes ago, just for a couple minutes, just to get the oil a little warm so it comes out easier. You can do the same thing. No need to get it super hot, but it is nice to have it not cold as well. So before I actually drain this, I'm actually going to pop the hood and unscrew the oil cap, just so it all drains out faster. Alright, that's off. It'll drain faster now. Alright, back under the car here. This is a 17 millimeter. Why they chose 17, I don't know, whatever. 17 millimeter. Chose to go with the socket just because. Now you may have also noticed it was a little bit easier for me to jack up this car. That's because it's actually on a lift. Anderson Design Fabrication 2-inch lift. I highly recommend you do the same if you drive a Subaru Forester. It's been awesome. It looks better. Is it super practical? I mean, it doesn't hinder me anyway, but it does look better. Anyways, if you want to check out how to do that, we did make a video on installing that lift. The next step from here is just simply unscrewing this oil plug. Once you do get it knocked loose with the wrench, you can just do this all with your fingers, and I recommend you do, so you can feel when it's at the end, because this is always the hardest, scariest part of it. Alright, so the oil is done draining. The other thing we're going to do today is replace our oil filter. There's our oil filter. Here's our new one. You can look up which type fits your vehicle really easily. Just about all, AutoZone website, O'Reilly website, Napa website, they'll tell you if it fits. Fram, I know also you can look up the which oil filter fits what vehicle. But these sometimes are like just super hand tight. Or sometimes you're going to need an oil filter wrench. And I'm thinking we're going to need that oil filter wrench. And just like the actual plug, you're going to be able to go, start feeling it, and then be able to just drop it. Now, with your new oil filter, it is not a bad idea to just lube up the outer ring here, this O-ring, just a little bit. Definitely do this in order. Definitely do the oil filter after you drain the oil from the oil pan, because as you saw when I did that, it started spilling everywhere before the oil pan or the oil filter was even out. And it's going to do that regardless, just the way things are, because there's going to be oil filled up inside of the oil filter, so it's just going to spill. So get less to spill by draining out what you have already completely. Move this out of the way here, and then you can see the old screw. Just go ahead, line that up. Alright, now for this doesn't need to be like the tightest thing in the world, but definitely should be tight. So that's about as tight as I can get it by hand. I'll go ahead, grab it with the towel, and then get it pretty tight that way as well. Alright, sweet. We got the oil filter replaced, and all the old oil is out of everything here. So we can go ahead and put our plug back in the oil pan, and we're ready to fill up with our new oil. So here's the oil plug. Now, it's a good thing to have a little bit of oil on this too when you put it in there. However, it's going to have oil on it, and the amount it has on it's just fine. I think it's a good idea. See, I just dropped it in the dirt to clean out all of the threads with a towel. It's just gonna be much easier taking things out in the future with less dirt in here. All right, so here we are. There it is. Do it by hand so you can feel it not being cross-threaded. It's smooth. All the pieces of sand and dirt are out of those threads. Got it pretty tight. Then I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with the wrench. Now, some people like to absolutely go crazy on this thing. I don't. Give it a nice big tug. That's really all you're gonna need. Now we can go ahead and fill up with the new oil. Again, make sure do not put oil in your car until this is in and you have a filter. So that feels like almost all of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and check. It's not almost all of it, that was only about half. So we're gonna keep going. We got about another liter left. Good enough. And then go ahead, screw the cap on, and then check under your car. Make sure nothing is dripping anywhere. Alright, sit here, look for a second. We don't have anything dripping from the oil filter. We don't have anything dripping other than a couple drops left from draining it from where the plug is. So we are all good. That is how you change your oil and replace your oil filter.